Public service cuts confirmation. Stats Can about to be hit hard with hundreds of positions on the chopping block. We have breaking news this hour. CTV News has learned dozens of job cuts are underway this week at Statistics Canada, with many more to come. In a statement sent to Stats Can employees this afternoon, the chief statistician, André Loranger, says the federal organization's workforce needs to shrink by 850 positions over the next 2 years. Of those, around 100 will be affected immediately. Those employees will be notified this week. Executive positions will also be reduced by 12%. All affected employees will receive notices of their status over the next 2 weeks. We're going to have more details on this breaking news and developing story at 6 o'clock. Hospitals in our region are under pressure as some are forced to open up more unconventional space to treat patients. This as wait times climb, forcing some to wait more than 14 hours for care. CTV's Austin Lee joins us live now with more on the situation at the Queensway Carleton. Austin.
Yes, Stefan, long wait times and a lack of space, those are issues that are facing hospitals right across the province right now. And at the Queensway Carleton Hospital, patients are receiving care in hallways and in dining areas in some cases. In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for that hospital says hospital occupancy is at 114%, with medicine units at 133%, and 27 patients in the emergency department currently waiting for an inpatient bed. Much of the increased pressure is due to high numbers of influenza cases, particularly impacting people with pre-existing health conditions. The hospital spokesperson adds, in the last week, non-admitted patients have been forced to wait an average of 13 hours, and that is something Ken Saunderson knows all too well, after he and his wife spent nearly 15 hours waiting at the hospital for his wife to receive care for a skin infection.
Completely frustrating, aggravating, extremely tiring. Once you get into the system, the people are fantastic. The doctors are fantastic. The nurses that are providing all the service on the floor, they're fantastic too. Super nice, super caring. It's just to try and get in there that seems to be the big problem.
Now, Saunderson adds that he hopes healthcare funds are used more efficiently moving forward by doing more to bring in additional doctors and to expand healthcare, given the country's rapid population growth over the last few years. The interim vice president of quality and chief nursing executive says, along with the higher number of patients coming into the Queensway Carleton Hospital, many require isolation, and that is adding another layer of complication when finding space for all these patients. The hospital says it is adding staff and working more closely now with regional partners to best care for patients and to try to reduce those wait times. Stefan.
All right, CTV's Austin Lee live with those updates for us. Thank you, Austin. We know where the city will be building a new standalone washroom. It's something advocates have been pushing for years. But instead of self-cleaning, it will be up to city staff or community groups to maintain them. CTV's Leah Larocque is live with the latest. Leah.
Well, Stefan, the city put aside $1 million in last year's budget to build 2 public washrooms. The councillor for the Somerset area says there simply just aren't enough places to go, but this is a basic human right that we all share, and the need is urgent, especially in the centre town area. So the city will build a standalone public washroom, a conventional build on the corner of Somerset and Bank Street. They're hoping to break ground by the fall. They were supposed to be self-cleaning, but not anymore. As you mentioned, maintenance will now be up to city staff or community partners. But advocates in the city say washrooms are a critical piece of infrastructure.
Many other cities do it, and Ottawa is quite behind, but I'm excited that this will allow us to start to catch up. We're working on a robust plan. Either way, it's very clear that we need these facilities, and they need to go into the part of the city where we're seeing the most demand.
As for what this will look like, there will be public consultation phases where you will be able to provide your feedback or any concerns that you may have. We spoke to a lot of residents in the Centretown area, and they all agree that something needs to be built there to help. As for the second public washroom that is supposed to be in the Byward Market, we reached out to the city media to see what the status is on that washroom, and they haven't gotten back to us. Stefan.
All right, we'll keep our ear to the ground for that one. CTV's Leah Larocque reporting live for us. Thank you, Leah. Plans for Canada's first high-speed rail network connecting Toronto to Quebec City are taking another step forward with new public engagement now underway here in the nation's capital. CTV's Josh Morano joins us now with those details. Josh.
Yes, Stefan, while construction is still years away, planners say decisions being made now will shape how high-speed rail could transform travel and the economy in this region. Canada's first high-speed rail project is being developed by Alto, starting with a proposed line connecting Ottawa and Montreal. Project leaders say early consultations will help determine station locations, community benefits, and how the rail line fits into existing cities. Business leaders argue the project could bring long-term economic gains, new job opportunities, and faster connections between major urban centers.
It positions us as a modern region so that we will attract new opportunities and build up confidence in our business community and create new entrepreneurship opportunities.
If construction is to start in 4 or 5 years, we need to start preparing today because we need all the resources there are out there. So please be ready because we need your support.
According to Alto, the train would make travel from Ottawa to Montreal just under 1 hour and Ottawa to Toronto just under 2. Alto says this early planning phase is critical to keeping the timeline on track. The public consultation will be made available next week on its website. Stefan.
Okay, thank you for this, Josh. In other news, a 5-year-old is dead after an ATV crash west of Ottawa this weekend. Ontario Provincial Police say the child was driving the ATV on a property in Brudenell, Lindock, and Raglan Township when it crashed into a tree. Police say the child was taken to hospital and then airlifted to a regional trauma center where they passed away. The township is about 190 kilometers west of downtown Ottawa. A 7-story office building in Ottawa's West End is set to be converted into housing. Regional Group has submitted an application to the City of Ottawa to convert the building at 495 Richmond Road into a housing complex. It would include 143 residential units. The 11,000 square foot building was the former office for the Canadian Institute for Health Information. Nurses and personal support workers say planned cuts at the Royal Ottawa Place long-term care home will have a negative effect on patients and staff. Ho, ho! Members of CUPE 942 held a protest today outside the Royal Ottawa. They are protesting the cuts and calling on the province to provide better funding. The union says 15 positions are planned to be eliminated. Officials say those are mostly expected to be nurses, frontline staff, and PSWs who help the 64 residents who live there and have complex mental health and medical needs.
Our residents deserve a proper care. So do our staff, okay? Our staffs put their heart and soul in this job and take care of our patients and residents. So that's not a way of dealing with the residents and with the staff. So they should provide the proper funding that we do not have to go through that.
In a statement, the Royal says that patient safety is their top priority. It says that staffing changes are part of routine workforce planning and they never operate below safe or appropriate staffing levels. On a brighter note, someone just east of Ottawa is now $55 million richer.
I wish it was. I wish it was me.
OLG says the Lotto Max jackpot prize of $55 million this past Friday was bought in the United Counties of Prescott and Russell. At this point, OLG says it is now just waiting on that lucky person or people who purchased the ticket to come forward. The Lottery Commission says it does know exactly where the ticket was bought, but will not say just yet.
So that's why we have to ask the people coming forward a series of questions. Again, where did you buy the ticket? When did you buy the ticket? And a number of other questions that we use in the prize claim process to ensure that we are paying the rightful ticket owner that $55 million prize.
The win follows a 2022 Lotto Max win by a grandmother in Van Cleek Hill who won $60 million. OLG says those with tickets can either check them through the OLG app or by taking them to a lottery retailer, but warns that the tickets do expire after 1 year. Coming up on CTV News at 5, the province is considering new regulations that would ban certain procedures on dogs and cats. And our Jackie Perez is joining us live in studio tonight. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Stefan. Well, a bit of a break after this past weekend snowstorm, but it will be brief. Mainly cloudy skies right now. There is a little bit of drifting snow moving through eastern Ontario. Here in Ottawa, we're sitting around 0 degrees. Brockville -1, Kingston also at 0, Bancroft -2. Mont Tremblant a little bit cooler at -4. Taking a look at these overnight conditions, flurries and freezing drizzle as we get into these overnight hours. -1 will remain our temperatures, and tomorrow we're getting to a daytime high of 2 degrees. We did mention that snow is expected to return. We'll have those details and more in just a bit.
Thank you, Jackie. Here's what you need to know. The Ottawa Senators are looking for a much-needed win on home ice tomorrow night. They'll take on the Vancouver Canucks at the Canadian Tire Centre. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. Now for a live check on traffic. We're hearing of some slowdowns in the westbound lanes between Parkdale and Pinecrest. Eastbound on the Queensway is busy from Bronson to the Split, and eastbound from the Split to Montreal Road on the 174. You're watching CTV News at 5. Welcome back to CTV News at 5. The province is considering new regulations that would ban certain procedures on dogs and cats, which animal experts have deemed to be medically unnecessary. The proposal outlines specific procedures, including declawing cats and debarking dogs or cropping their ears. Today's radio question of the day is asking, should Ontario ban medically unnecessary surgeries on animals?
The other provinces have clued in. There's no reason to dock a tail. There's no reason to declaw cats. There's no reason to crop ears, etc. Debark a dog. I'm sorry. When a dog is barking so much, there's something underlying going on. So training needs to be on board.
Christy Cameron is here with more. And Christy, I heard this on the radio. It was a shocking conversation for me. I didn't realize people were debarking dogs.
Yeah, and it's really sad. You know, I only learned about this about a year ago. The animal will still try to produce sound. So it's not like they're totally silent. And then this horrible, almost like whimper, muffled bark will come out. The poor dog has no idea what's going on. I'll say this, educate yourself. If you don't want a dog that is a small, yappy dog or a dog that likes to bark, then get a breed of dog that makes sense for you. Much in the same way, I would say if you don't want your furniture destroyed, then maybe don't get a cat, or try to train your cat. Introduce a scratching post, or maybe realize that furniture is more important to you. Bottom line, it's inhumane. I'm totally with the Ontario government on this. I think this should have been done a long time ago.
Do we know how quickly this will be happening?
I don't personally. I don't think it's actually included in the legislation, but I would tell them to pick up on this. And, you know, like 95% of our listeners were in agreement today, which happens very rarely on the show. Most people think this is unnecessary. And again, it's your choice, right? Like, if you're getting a dog, research what you're doing. Make sure that you get a dog that is cohesive with your lifestyle. Just like people who get, you know, working breeds that need a lot of exercise or mental stimulation, maybe that's not the right fit for you in your life.
Certainly.
Or get a trainer. Get a trainer.
Yeah, thank you for this, Christy. Important conversation to have. And you can join this conversation and leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6. And now watch Christy's segments anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the News Talk 580 CFRA page. Coming up for us here on CTV News at 5, Olympics bound, a look at the figure skaters who will compete for our country at the upcoming Winter Games. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now for another check on the weather forecast. Jackie is live in studio for us tonight. Jackie, over to you.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. It's been a mild day today compared to what we've had the last few days. While the temperatures were warm, we did get that snowstorm moving through. There will be a bit of a break, but we should see the return of snow by the middle of this week. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, where we're sitting around 0 right now, and the road's much clearer than what we saw this past weekend. And taking a look at temperatures as we get into these overnights, it's going to really hover around the freezing mark. -1 is really the name of the game as we get into those overnight conditions. Risk of freezing drizzle will maintain for the evening, so there might be a chance of the flurries as well, but temperatures get below the freezing mark. We could see some slick roads into the early hours of tomorrow morning. We are getting to a daytime high of 2 degrees by the time we get to the afternoon, but for the most part, it will feel closer to about 1 degree. Chance of flurries will continue into into our Tuesday, but we could expect some wet conditions for the late evening as well. Taking a look at the Seaway, flurries -1 to 3 degrees, the daytime high for Kingston and Brockville, and then parts of the valley -2 with the risk of freezing drizzle as well, daytime high 1 degree. So we talked about the conditions as well. Tuesday will be mainly cloudy to start things off, but you might want to bring the umbrella or even keep an eye out on the flurries, depending on where you are in Eastern Ontario. Tuesday evening, you can see that there is rain and freezing rain around Brockville, Cornwall, really around the Seaway. Flurries for here in Ottawa, and that's going to continue into our Wednesday. Keep an eye on Wednesday evening, though. We are anticipating between 5 to 10 centimeters of snow moving into our Thursday. So again, we are keeping a close eye on this. So you can see that the reason for all this rain moving through our 5 days is Tuesday into Wednesday. Temperatures are going to go to 4 degrees the daytime high, and then temperatures are going to quickly drop from Wednesday in the daytime to the overnight -13. Thursday, daytime high, it's going to be -14. So we're in for some cooler conditions by the time we get to middle of the week. And are you ready to tackle your home projects? Find hundreds of trusted experts at the Ottawa Home and Remodeling Show on from January 29th to February 1st at the EY Centre. We have your chance to win big. Enter for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Ottawa Home and Remodeling Show, plus 1 lucky viewer will win the grand prize, a package that includes $2,500 in gift cards, 4 tickets to the Ottawa Home and Remodeling Show, and a meet and greet with Sarah Richardson. Head over to ctvottawa.ca to enter now. Good luck. All right, Stefan, so again, fingers crossed that you enjoy the mild weather for the next 2 days, because by the time we get to Thursday, -14, the daytime high.
All right, thank you, Jackie. A bit of a reprieve, never hurt anybody. Here's a look at the stories you're checking out right now on ctvnewsottawa.ca. If you head over to our website right now, you'll see an article about the Rideau Center. You may have heard that there was some police activity there Saturday night. Police today are giving us more details about that. There was a noxious substance that was released just before 10 p.m. near one of the entrances. They did arrest a male youth who is facing charges, including wearing a disguise. Some of the youth that were involved in this had to be treated because of the noxious substance, but all the details are on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
I grew up here. I love it, and I have so many memories here.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, where Ottawa ranks according to a new quality of life report looking at cities around the world. If you need gas tonight, one of today's cheapest gas prices can be found at the Canadian Tire Station on 10th Line Road in Orleans. Regular gas there is going for $1.13.3 a liter. Another quick live check on traffic right now. We are seeing some major slowdowns between Parkdale and Pinecrest. You can see that the westbound lanes at Woodruff are also a busy spot along that corridor. Eastbound is busy and picking up from Riverside out towards the Split.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. It appears to be windy at the moment, and we're sitting at 0 degrees. Time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock. CTV News has learned layoffs are underway at Statistics Canada as part of the Liberal government's plan to reduce the size of the federal public service. We'll have the latest on the hundreds of layoffs planned for the department.
They cannot call each other, and we cannot. I don't know what's happening there. I don't know anything about my mom, my sister.
Canadians struggle to stay in touch with loved ones in Iran as the regime cuts phone and internet amid a deadly crackdown on protests.
We already had the treatment and everything recommended. I don't know why there isn't some kind of outpatient clinic or outpatient service that you could just directly go to there.
Taking a closer look at the ongoing pressures straining Ottawa hospitals, including long waits in the emergency department for care and patients receiving care in hallways and dining areas. All of that and more coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following. A new report is crowning the capital as the top spot when it comes to the best quality of life in North America.
Ottawa has a lot to offer. I'm I love the outdoor rinks, the canal, and all that being a figure skater. So to me, there's always something to do outside.
Numbio's 2026 Quality of Life Index ranks Ottawa as the best city in Canada and North America for quality of life and 28th in the world. The survey looked at quality of life in 304 cities around the world. Ottawa was the only city outside of Europe in the top 30.
Back center with a hard shot, and a good stop made there by Reimer.
Instead of stopping Ottawa Senators players' goals, James Reimer will now be stopping goals for the Sens. The team has signed him to a one-year contract with an average salary of $850,000. This comes amid Linus Ullmark's leave of absence. The 37-year-old has played 525 regular season games in the NHL. We now know the roster of Team Canada figure skaters that will compete in the upcoming Winter Games. 7 athletes are returning to the Games, including ice dancers Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, who are making their 3rd Olympic appearance together after competing in Pyeongchang and Beijing. 5 Canadians are making their Olympic debuts, including pairs skaters Diana Stellato-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps, and men's singles skater Steven Gogolev. The Milan Cortina Olympics get underway on February 6th.
Paul was a fundamentally decent, generous, and empathetic man, and he had time for every constituent here in Kitchissippi Ward.
Why?
The City of Ottawa has renamed the Van Lang Fieldhouse near Westboro Beach to the Paul Durer Fieldhouse. The change is in honor of the former MP for Ottawa Centre who died in 2019 from glioblastoma. That's the same cancer that killed Gord Downey. Durer was the son of former Ottawa Mayor Marion Durer. He was MP for the area from 2006 to 2015.
That was a serious case. We got sparkles.
And that's Prime Minister Mark Carney trying his hand at a new skill, skate sharpening. The Prime Minister posted this short video to social media yesterday. He thanks local skate sharpening shop Be Sharp in Nepean for letting him take a turn behind the machine, and said the smell of sharpening skates took him right back to his old childhood days at the rink. That's CTV News at 5. Thanks for watching the early edition.